BlackRock continues to pile into Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. The big question is, what's next? We've got a lot to get to into this video, guys. We've got a lot of ETFs basically being filed, but BlackRock, Fidelity, some of the big players, they're still sitting idle on the sidelines. What does this mean? Does it mean they're not going to go after XRP, Solana, HBAR, Chainlink? They're going to leave this for everybody else and only focus on Bitcoin and Ethereum? Well, I'm here to break it all down for you guys. Go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe if you guys haven't already. But I want to break down the knowns, the claims, and the speculation about any connections right now between XRP, Ripple, the XRP ledger, BlackRock, and some of the connections we can make, including some other cryptocurrency projects out there that kind of link the two. Now, many of these are speculative, but you guys know that's how we make money in crypto. Speculating. If you go back even into like the .com era, when people were speculating on the internet, right? So many people made tons of money speculating. It's not so much what exactly happens. Of course, if it does, that only escalates your potential for profits. But this is the speculation era of crypto. And so much of the speculation right now is around what's next. Okay, they've pumped Bitcoin. It's literally setting all-time highs as I'm creating this video right now, $126,000. They're starting to do the same thing with Ethereum. Are they going to stop here? Because right now there's a lot of controversy. BlackRock really doesn't have any current plans to launch an XRP ETF. At least they haven't publicly stated that. But in a recent piece, the block reports that while BlackRock does not have any plans for an XRP or Solana ETF, they do say that the potential is still there. What I think is happening there, at least on the ETF front, I think they're waiting. I think they're waiting for full clarity because BlackRock's in a very interesting situation. They know that they can come in late to the party, offer, their product with less fees and basically capture all of the momentum and all of the activity and steal it away from some of the smaller firms. So I do think that's happening. But real quick, we'll come back to this larger conversation. I do want to take a look quickly at the price of XRP. We're currently sitting at 304, up about 2.42% today, 5-6% in the last 7. Up about 8% in the last month. But if you blow out into the last year, guys, we're up 470%. And a lot of people, I think, waiting for that next big leg up. Patience is a virtue in crypto. And anytime you're investing, you know that you can't get too high, you can't get too low, right? And so many people, I think, want everything right now. They want that instant gratification. But think about this. If you were holding Bitcoin, even Ethereum, XRP back in 2022, in the dog days of the bear market, I mean, think about it. You had to hold there for like a 2-year period, right? XRP was sitting at 50 cents for seemingly ever. I was accumulating down there where everybody was dogging it and saying it was, dog shit, basically, saying it was a stable coin, etc. And then all of a sudden, it does a 5x in 6 weeks. It goes from 50 cents to $3, seemingly out of nowhere. And that's, I think, a microcosm of how the markets work. Just when you least expect it, things blow up. And I think XRP is waiting for that next big leg. But coming back out to this like larger conversation about institutions, I do want to kind of highlight some of the other things that have been happening. There's been some rumors out there. Does BlackRock hold XRP? According to sources, BlackRock has stated it is not investing in XRP currently. Now, there's been a ton of rumors of XRP, an XRP trust through BlackRock. There's been a ton of rumors that Ripple and the SEC have had some legal developments that could open the doors for BlackRock to come in. Now, while Ripple's, court case possibilities, being settled is a catalyst, these sort of things have not really come to fruition in terms of direct institutional adoption. Now, some of the things that we do know for sure is that Ripple is working with a lot of large banks outside the United States. They're working with the government in the UAE in order to tokenize real estate in Dubai. That's a multi-billion-dollar project. These are facts. Now, a lot of things, I think, in terms of the United States, we're still waiting in order to have full clarity and regulation. The Clarity Act is on the table. We have an SEC and a CFTC that are finally working together, and they want to see this space innovate. So I think it's only a matter of time until these sort of things play out. Right. But again, this is the speculation period. Like we could look up 5 years from now and say, man, what an opportunity it was to invest in XRP back then when there was no clarity, when it was so like, the wild, wild west. But when it comes to tokenization, I've been talking about this quite a bit. There's talk that BlackRock could be using, blockchain and tokenization platforms, and Ripple's name has come up, right? It might be the frame for infrastructure, right? Tokenizing the money market funds for U.S. Treasuries, for example. Well, here's what we do know. There is a tie with someone who's Ripple's working with. They're working with Ondo Finance, and they're doing this in order to tokenize U.S. Treasuries and equities. This is a fact. Now, if we connect the dots, who is Ondo connected with? So Ripple's not connected with BlackRock, but Ondo is. Ondo's connected with BlackRock. They're also connected with JP Morgan Chase and some of the other big players. So there's one degree of separation essentially right now from Ripple and BlackRock. Some of these other things, while there's still rumors, I do think there's smoke, and where there's smoke, there's usually fire. We're just going to have to wait and see, right? There's no confirmed direct tie right now between BlackRock and XRP, but BlackRock has publicly stepped back from publicly announcing engagement for anything else outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Here's what we do know, though. Larry Fink, the leader at BlackRock, his whole attention and focus has shifted toward tokenization of real-world assets. He thinks it's a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. And here's what we also know. Ripple is working in this area alongside many of the other big players like Chainlink, like HBAR, like XLM, like Ethereum. Pretty much everybody's trying to get their foot in this door. But Ripple doesn't have to be the only big player. As long as they have some of the big backing from Fidelity, BlackRock, even in small sectors, right? Even if it's tokenization of real estate, this tells me that XRP is still undervalued when you zoom out, especially in the next 5 to 10 years, alongside some of these other big players like XLM and HBAR and Algorand and Ondo and a lot of the other ISO compliant cryptos. But there are still some obstacles that we're looking to hurdle over. And while they're all theories right now, I think a lot of it's going to come to fruition once we get regulatory clarity and that improves. Now, before we close up shop, guys, make sure you guys sign up for the free newsletter right now. We are going to be sending out an edition tomorrow. We just hired a new writer. He's going to be adding a ton of great insights for you guys. So it's totally free. Name and email is all we need. There's a link down below in the description. You're going to be getting alpha 2 times a week sent right to your inbox. I know everybody lives a really fast-paced life, and this is just something you can quickly gloss over, and you'll have a good understanding and good pulse on the market on a week-to-week basis. So check out the free newsletter. Definitely get in that. Why not? Totally free. Appreciate you all for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.